everybody that attends these. We have had so much fun doing them. This is number 11. It's the iPad. Excuse me. We're going to finish off number 12 next month with kind of a trip back to Facebook. And the reason is because since we did our Facebook lessons back in February, March, and April, so much has changed, whether it's all the different marketing tools that Facebook has come out with and the difference in their edge rank, and there's just been so many changes that I don't want to wait another 3 or 4 months to actually go back over this when if people are still executing strategies that are no longer working. We want to make sure that you're always executing the best strategy. The other thing that I think is really, really exciting is that PNC just picked up this series for another year. So next year, it's going to be very, very different. For those of you who are in a city that we're going to travel to, we're going to do 12 or 14 live shows next year. But everything we do next year is going to be based on one specific beginning to end strategy. In other words, if you're an agent or broker, this is every single thing you need to do in order to have a successful internet marketing strategy, to be able to sell homes using the internet, and in order, simplified and distilled. So if you can spend a year with us, you're going to end up at the end of that time literally knowing internet marketing. It's going to be everything you need. And these so we're going to do that on the road, and then these webinars are going to be 12 little chunks of the strategy. And this is the same strategy that Virtual Results uses for their, big broker clients. So we've got millions and millions of clicks of analytics. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy, exciting year. It's going to kick off in January. And by all means, please, please, please get with your PNC rep and know that from the beginning. Now, I can also tell you there's going to be way more webinars. So in any given month, you'll be able to see this webinar, for example, at 4 different times. And then in February, you'll be able to see January in 4 times and February in 4 times. So we're going to make it way easier for you guys to schedule actually seeing one of these webinars. Today, however, we're going to talk about the iPad, and I think the iPad is just a really, real cool blessing for real estate professionals. Now look, when I first got my first iPad, I was actually quite let down. I wanted it to be a computer, and instead it was a phone. It's basically an iPhone with a much bigger screen. To this day, I still wrestle a little bit. If I did not have a laptop, if all I had was my desktop or office computer, and I had to choose whether or not to buy an iPad, realizing that the iPad, top-of-the-line iPad, is $700 or $800, and a MacBook Air now starts at $1,000. An 11-inch MacBook Air, I think I might get a MacBook Air. If indeed you already have a laptop and you just want something to carry around, hold the clients, ease of use, pop in a purse, the iPad is just absolutely cool and has some great functionality. And we're just going to run through. We're 11 calls in. I think you guys know at this point you can't speak to us unless we call on you, but Ryan will be sitting there answering questions feverishly. By all means, let's use that button. So we're going to talk about kind of 4 sections today, and we found apps that our clients use that most of the apps that we use are for productivity, but some of them are also we use for client support and for marketing, and especially some of the old faithfuls for social media. Now I need to tell you that some of the apps that I'm going to talk about today mirror the mobile apps that we talked about a month ago. Now, I tried not to do a ton of that. In fact, there's some really good iPhone apps that I literally took out of this list because we just covered them a month ago. They're the same ones you can use on your iPhone, right? But I did have to put a couple of them in because there is a underlying strategy for mobile that every one of you just needs to start adopting, and it comes back to the cloud, you guys. Look, this is where computing is going. If you're not familiar with the term the cloud just is online storage. So for example, at Virtual Results, all our email is in the cloud, all of our documents are in the cloud, all of our signatures via DocuSign, all that stuff is in the cloud. Virtually every single thing we do is in the cloud. I could literally take my laptop, throw it in the ocean, go buy a new one, set it up, and every single thing I work on every single day is there. That's the cool thing about the cloud. In addition, if I'm working on a document and I need help, I can ping Ryan and say, hey, I need help on this document, and we can work on any document in Virtual Results that exist basically together at the same time while talking about it. That's called cloud computing, and it's really important. And the cool thing is the most effective app for cloud computing, which is available on every PC, every phone, and of course the Apple iPad, is Google Apps. And you guys, if you're still on Outlook, if you're still on Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, if you're on Dropbox or SugarSync, I would absolutely suggest Google Apps. A, it's free. B, it's best of breed, and C, it's easy to use. So that puts your Gmail in the cloud, all of your mail, which means you can fly to Schenectady, New York with no computer, walk into a Kinko's, log in, and you have full access to every email, every calendar, every document, every file, everything. It is very, very cool way to compute. And again, that's Google Apps. And Google Apps comes with Gmail, Calendar, Google Voice or Talk, which I use as my phone every single day. It comes with presentations. It comes with a spreadsheet like Excel. It comes with a video program. It just comes with so much. It comes with Google Drive, which is actually storage. Guys, here's another program that I have come to just adore, and it's called Evernote. And Evernote, although it can get very, very complicated, used simply, this is all it is. Imagine any single thing, anything that you come in contact with on any given on any given day. Imagine a document. Imagine a website. Imagine an item in a store. Imagine an idea that comes into your mind. Virtually anything. If you have any device in front of you, if you have your phone, if you have your iPad, if you have your laptop, if you have your computer, if you're somewhere else and are working on somebody else's computer and have the internet open, any single thing that you touch, you then immediately just zip off to Evernote. Evernote will tag it. If it's got text in it, they will OCR it, and it's available for you at any given time for recall. So any single thing, you can jot, you can talk, any idea. Evernote is my second brain. Look, if you are one of these people that wake up in the middle of the night or are driving someplace and say, oh my God, I've got to get to that, you need Evernote. Evernote gives you the ability to jettison every single thing on your mind off to Evernote so that it can be recalled later and you can be relaxed, non-stressed, and productive on a daily basis. Take a look at it. I don't want to go more into that. I'm using this thing called Getting Things Done. It's a strategy that we use along with Evernote. It's absolutely changing my life. It's a really, really cool productivity tool. Dropbox is something that you can use from your phone. You can also use it from the iPhone. Dropbox is simply a hard disk storage in the cloud. Now, I still prefer either Google Drive or SugarSync. The one cool thing about Dropbox and SugarSync is that you can also set them up to back up all your important files on your home computer into the cloud, so that not only is it a place that you can store files, but it's also a place that you can it's also a safety net, because you can back up important files that you're working on your desktop. Now, the cool thing about Dropbox is, because it's kind of the 800-pound gorilla in the room, because it's the most utilized cloud storage, a lot of other programs work with it. So a lot of programs that are also mobile will natively send documents into Dropbox. For example, DocuSign or anything like that. What do you know? So DocuSign, for example, will automatically store stuff in Dropbox, so no matter where you are, at an office, at somebody's house, at a listing presentation, you have the ability to bring a document down, get it signed right then, right there on your iPad, and store it back up into Dropbox. Does that make sense? DocuSign is a automatic document signing program. For those of you who are virtual results clients, you have clearly, any document you get from us that needs a signature comes for you for DocuSign. It allows electronic signatures. It's it's step one kind of in having a paperless office. LogMeIn is very, very cool. So LogMeIn gives me access from my iPad to any computer, period. I use this like if I'm out and about and I need a file off my main server in my office. If I need a file off my laptop, if I need to help my mom with something, I can log straight into her computer. You can literally take complete control of any computer by logging in through your iPad. The cool thing about this is, think about it. Not only can you take control of that computer, but because you take control of that computer, it means if there is a file that's sitting on your desktop, on your computer at work, and you're with a client in a listing presentation and there's an image or a document, you can literally jump onto your iPad, you can log into that computer, you can send an email from that computer attaching that file or document to your client who's working with you, and when they get it, they can open it, they can print it, you can sign it, anything that you want to do, you can do from LogMeIn. So pretty darn cool.
You know, LogMeIn, Jim, can you hear me?
Sure.
LogMeIn has it's one of those things that has a fantastic free plan. I mean, many of us have used it for years on the free plan, without the need to upgrade. I also wanted to backtrack to DocuSign. Well, DocuSign is, realtors are on the cutting edge of e-signature. And as a matter of fact, if you're not on DocuSign, do it immediately. It'll change your business forever. However, I wanted to point out that if you sign up for DocuSign, make sure they know you're a realtor. The price difference is absolutely astonishing. We're talking about, maybe $200 a year as opposed to a month or something like that. So NAR basically did a special deal with them.
Very, very cool. The other cool thing, right, about LogMeIn is that a lot of these programs you have to be there, in other words, for somebody to log you in. With LogMeIn, you don't have to. So like I can take control of somebody's computer with them not being there, which is kind of nice. It can be a non-attended computer. So if you're away from your office, you can log in and do it. Another one of those that's pretty darn similar is TeamViewer. The cool thing about TeamViewer is that you can actually, the person on the other line will actually see their screen moving, and you can do, like, if you ever needed to do support, like if you're running a team and your assistant can't figure out how to do something on the computer, you can jump on it. But a lot of these I didn't want to give too much favor to. I don't really, I mean, I'm a Log Me In fan, but I know a lot of people just absolutely love TeamViewer. So, but they do a lot of the same things. So,
I think TeamViewer is really robust, but LogMeIn is a little bit easier to get started on.
Agreed. PDF Expert 3. This is an absolute staple in any realtor's iPad kit. It gives you the ability to upload PDFs. You can take a static PDF form that was like created in Adobe Acrobat. You can open gigantic documents, and it's got a really cool scroll feature on the iPad. You can sign them. You can sign contracts. You can use your own handwritten signature. PDF Expert 3, now the 3 actually syncs with any folder on Dropbox, so that single thing you do is available to you in the cloud. It'll also let you annotate them, highlight them, create notes. You can draw on them with your finger. You can bookmark them. Really, really cool. In real estate, as you all know, we just use a lot of PDFs. So there are two programs that do PDFs really well. It's PDF Expert and iAnnotate PDF. I like them both a bunch. I think I'm a PDF Expert 3 fan, just a little bit more than I am a iAnnotate fan, but they're both absolutely amazing iPad apps. You'd be very, very happy with both of them. I think iAnnotate has a free version. PDF Expert 3, I think, costs a little bit of money. But again, the thing with these apps, you guys, I mean, we all have expense to our business, and these are all cheap. Like apps run in between $3 and $10, most of them, with a few of them, maybe $19. This is really cool. Often I will leave my phone someplace and just, I'll be walking into a house or walking in someplace, and all I have is my iPad. And I always wish, I told you in the very beginning, I thought that my iPad was just kind of a big iPhone. Well, the thing that bummed me out about it is it wasn't a phone. I mean, I couldn't make a phone call on it. So with Talkatone, it literally turns your your iPad into kind of a iPhone. You have to set up a Google Voice account, which is also a pretty darn cool app that we're not talking about. But if you set up a Google Voice account, then it works just it works almost, I mean, if you can see by the screen, it works almost exactly like the iPhone setup. And literally, you can just carry your iPad around and you have a phone. Note to people. One of the things that you have already figured out is that your iPad battery lasts way, way, way longer than your iPhone battery does. So one of the cool things, if you're at a convention or if you're out on a really long day or you're away from a charger, just before your iPhone dies, which it will do, mine lasts about 6 hours it seems like, you can forward it to your iPad phone number, and just your iPad lasts and lasts and lasts. And if you have emergency phone calls, you can handle it all through, it's called Talkatone. Very, very cool iPhone app, Talkatone.
Hey, Jim, we're getting a little bit of questions here or problems with audio. I'm going to ask you to try to maybe pull the mic a little bit away from your face. People are saying the audio is a little bit blown out, kind of chopping as they go. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think people are I think they're able to hear, but I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Oh, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I am just a loud guy, so this would not be the first time that I overpowered a mic. Is that any better?
Yeah, believe me, I've heard that.
Is that any better? Right there, can you tell? Test, 1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, another app that I love. I literally use this one every single day, and it's called Sketch. And what's cool about Skits is it's just a little icon. Whatever is on your iPad at the time, if you want to show it to somebody, if you want to send somebody a picture of it, you just take a screenshot with Sketch. It allows you to either take all of the screen, part of the screen, anything, and quickly mark it up. Now, Sketch isn't available for PC. It's always just been a Mac product. And literally, I mean, I use this thing every single day. So you can take a quick screenshot. You can quickly mark it up. You can circle things. You can yellow them. You can add text. And you can send it off. Two things that are very, very cool about Sketch. One is you can just send a URL. It will give you a URL that you can just send off in an email so that anybody, anywhere on any machine can see exactly what it is. Two, they have recently become part of Evernote. So if you're an Evernote fanatic like I am, every single thing you save in Sketch will also be saved in Evernote. So as you get an idea, for example, I do a fair amount of presentation. So as I'm kind of going through the internet, I'll see something, I'll say, wow, I'm going to want to show that one day. I really quickly, I mean seconds, take a sketch of it, send it up to Evernote, and categorize it under future presentations. Really, really cool app. It's called Sketch. This is one that I thought was really cool. It's a little bit unfortunate, but as you know, in our industry, we have people on all types of disparate technologies. And one of the technologies that just will not die is the fax machine. We still have a lot of people, a lot of offices, everything using fax machine. Jot Not Fax allows you to capture and send anything to a fax. So if you've got a document or a PDF or anything that you need to get to somebody else's transaction consultant, and that TC only does fax, they want everything in paper, they have not gone paperless yet, and all you have is your iPad, you literally have the ability to take a DocuSign or take a PDF Expert 3, grab the PDF down, get it signed, and from Jot Not Fax, you can literally fax it to a physical fax machine, and they'll get it on plain paper just the way they need it. It just takes down, I think it's free app. I think when you send a fax, it costs a little bit of money, but it just takes down that one last barrier, that one last thing that you have to go back to your office to do, to stick something in a fax machine. It kind of makes sure that everything you want to do while you're on the road, you can do. How many of you guys are using the voice recognition applications on your different devices? I have gotten to a point now where almost every single thing I do starts at least with voice recognition. It's just so much faster for me to talk than to type, and especially on my iPhone or iPad. So with Dragon Dictation, it is very, very cool. Imagine being able to open any program, any application that you have, whether it's an email or social media or anything, and literally just being able to talk into it, hit send, and you are done. The cool thing about Dragon Dictation is it supports your native email, Facebook, and Twitter as native applications. So instead of opening Facebook or instead of opening Twitter, you literally open Dragon, hit the Facebook logo, speak your update, hit send, and it sends it off to either Facebook or Twitter or both. If you want to send an email, you can do it just from Dragon Dictation, just by naturally speaking. They say that speaking your email or speaking your document is up to 5 times as fast as typing it in. And this is a godsend for me on the iPhone, which I find the a little bit harder to type on, and still helps me dramatically on the iPad by being able to speak into any application, and then even if I need to, I can go and clean them up. Often, it's really cool to be able to email myself a note, just something that a thought that came up, and I've actually got it set up where I can email it to myself, and I can email it to my storage as well. Very, very cool.
So people are asking questions about, what about iPhone 5 and Siri? Is it redundant, and how accurate is it?
Well, Dragon Dictation has kind of set the bar for dictation. It is crazy accurate, and unlike Siri, it learns your voice. So it will actually get better and better and better. The only problem I have with Siri is I haven't figured out, unless somebody else, how to get it to work within my native applications. What I want to do is, with Siri, you have to ask Siri to launch the application, then you have to speak into it. And that works pretty cool. But with Dragon Dictation, keep in mind I can also do it in Word. Like I can literally open up a Word doc and do an entire page. I can do 4, 5, 6 paragraphs and then just quickly send it off to an email. It works in any single application, so it's pretty cool. How many times have you guys been working in your email or working on a document of any document type or looking at an image and just wanted to print it out from your iPad? Print Central allows you to literally print any document on your iPad to any computer where there is a Wi-Fi, and frankly, if you have 3G or 4G available, you can still print. So you can view, you can store, you can print email, you can print PDFs or files or attachments or photos or your contact list, even web pages. Anything that you can see on your iPad, you can print to any printer that if you have either Wi-Fi or 3G through Wi-Fi, which is just a pretty cool thing. Again, Print Central, it's a free app. All you do is you upload it, and next time you get into that situation, you have the ability to just print what you need. Really kind of a cool app. Drafts is one of these apps that I just kind of use because it's pretty convenient. Some apps you use because they're very robust, they can do a lot. Some apps you use because they're just super simple. And Drafts is literally the ability just to be able to click the iPad, write anything you want, and stuff it into Facebook, email, calendar, Dropbox, Evernote, anything you want. It's literally just a place to scribble and get a thought stored someplace. Drafts, if I'm sitting at a traffic light, Drafts is just it's so damn easy to be able to just click Twitter, scribble, hit send, or click Evernote, scribble, and send, and I've got that thought put away forever. You can also I think you can also use Dragon Dictation to do the same thing. It might be just as easy, but if you just want a place to just kind of be able to post something super quickly, whether it's to Twitter or Facebook or email or Evernote or Dropbox or anything, Draft is a pretty cool program to do that. So one of the things that makes the iPad such a very cool tool is images, right? I mean, you literally have the ability to take images, copy images, transfer images through iTunes, do whatever, to get images onto your iPad, take images of a house, take images of a yard, take images of your clients. The thing that really hasn't been easy to do, though, is then ultimately have a high-quality tool that will allow you to make changes to those pictures. And clearly Photoshop is the kind of 800-pound gorilla in the photo manipulation area, but it's so difficult. So for the iPad, Photoshop came out with Photoshop Express. And it basically lets you crop and straighten and rotate and flip and filter, and it's got effects. Now for fine editing, like super fine editing, you still have to work on a PC. Photoshop Express does like 40% of the major things that you would want to do, but just to be able to clean up an image and apply a filter to it and apply some effects to it, it is a really cool software. Of course, like with everything now, you can also share that Photoshopped image straight up to Facebook natively from Adobe Photoshop Express. The new Photos is Movies. And Apple's latest version of iMovie for iPad is very cool. So it allows you to take a video, and it's got it's got a couple of really cool features. One of the features is it's got like a Hollywood-style trailer creator, where literally you can show it an entire movie, an entire a digital film that you just filmed, and it will create one of these little fast responsive trailers for you. It outputs in full HD. It's 100% touchscreen. It is awesome. Now the only bummer about iMovie is that it's not compatible with the very first generation of iPad. You need to have an iPad 2 or the iPad 3rd generation tablets. I think it will work on Mini just because it's the new iOS, but really cool just to be able to look. Sometimes you take a video of a house and all you really need to do is cut a piece out of it. You need to cut the beginning or the end, or you want to be able to apply a bumper to it, which is a kind of a lead-in and what we call an intro or an extra. And iMovie on your iPad lets you do that in real time while you're in the field. Pretty cool. For marketing, there's a couple of cool apps. This isn't really an iPhone app per se. It's more of an iPhone display. But Greg Robertson, and I'll go on record as saying Greg Robertson is a friend of mine, but I love this particular product. It's called Cloud CMA, and basically all you do is from your iPad, you send them an email with the address in it, and you get back a detailed, really graphic, kind of very sophisticated CMA report. You get back a comparative market analysis on the particular property. They do a really amazing job. It's available through a lot of your MLSs, so I would check with them first before I buy an individual. A lot of the MLSs are either making this available to agents for free or for very little money. But kind of Cloud CMA is very cool. You can literally be talking to somebody on the street about how's the market doing, have them, want to know exactly what their house is worth, email Cloud CMA, get the CMA back, create a document for them, tell them it's in their, ask them for their email address, tell them it's in their email, and that you'll call them later and go over it page by page with them. Pretty darn cool tool. Guys, I love Fuse, and basically what Fuse is it's a cross between, it does so much, but it's a cross between a document, a real-time document sharing program and video conferencing. So literally, if I have my iPad, you have your iPad, I have my iPad, you're on a home computer, you're anywhere, I can literally start a session so that we can see each other or anybody else. You can session, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. And while I'm on that session, I can launch a PowerPoint. I can launch a keynote, a Word document, a PDF. I can run a movie. I can bring up images. I can bring up almost any content into the screen, and I can mark it up so that you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. If you have an offshore client, you can literally create a listing presentation, video them in, they can see you, you can see them, they can see your screen. You can bring up the listing presentation. Perhaps it's on either PowerPoint or better yet SlideRocket, and then you can literally mark it up. You can underline stuff as you talk. Really, really cool. You can zoom, you can pan, it just does everything. So for those of you who are working with out-of-state buyers or out-of-country buyers or can't always make it to somebody or want to do an initial pre-pitch, this is a really, really cool piece of software that allows you to do real-time, face-to-face presentations without being face-to-face. Pretty darn cool. It's called Fuse. Now, I mentioned PowerPoint, but I have kind of dropped PowerPoint for SlideRocket. And PowerPoint, for those of you who are doing either your presentations on iPad now, if you're doing listing presentations on iPad or on your laptop or whatever, or more importantly, if you want to put your listing presentation onto your website, SlideRocket is really cool. I think it's kind of a geeky PowerPoint or a PowerPoint on steroids. The coolest thing about SlideRocket is that A, they give you way more artwork and way more templates and stuff, so they really give you the ability to create cooler presentations, but more importantly, you can create a show, a self-running show out of your presentation. You can email it or embed it on your website, and along with that, SlideRocket will give you analytics. So for example, you can see how long each person is spending on each slide. Look, if you have a 14-slide deck and people aren't making it past slide 7, that's a cool thing to know. It's cool to know that you now have the ability to say, oh, this is too long. People aren't making it past slide 7. They're skipping slide 3. I'm going to get rid of slide 3, make the whole thing 7 slides. You literally get background analytics, which will tell you how they're doing. Also, every viewer sees a fresh slideshow, but if they're watching it online on your website, they can comment on any given slide and you will get the comments. They can ask questions. They can do anything. So SlideRocket's got tons and tons of uses, but the coolest one is literally taking either a presentation of a house or a presentation, your listing presentation, and sending it in an email or embedding it online where you can send people to watch it. How many people are using Open House Pro? This seems to be kind of a no-brainer. This sits on your iPad, and it literally just sits on your the table when you do a open house. It allows you to create a pretty cool presentation about the particular house, and it allows you to manage all walk-ins, at weekly open houses or at broker opens. It helps you do automatic follow-up, but it just kind of replaces that clipboard that you guys so often put in an open house where you collect names and numbers and emails. It creates amazing listing pages. It lets your buyers leave feedback. You can email the open house listing page to your client or to your prospect, and they can tell you their feedback on the house. It also follows up with leads, and It's got a kind of a cool email thing that seems to have a very, very high open rate. So it really kind of is a cool thing to add to your workflow. For those of you that do open houses, you can upload this app, and again, your iPad becomes your clipboard. It allows you to share your open house in Facebook. It's a really cool way of giving information about the house and getting people to sign up. Tourist, really, really cool app. Tourist is simply this. Walk into somebody's backyard, turn your iPad on, launch Tourist, do a 360 pano, label anything you want on that pano, hit submit, and it gives you back a URL. You can do it with every house, every yard, every street, every park, every room. It literally gives you the ability to send a 360-degree labeled pano. It takes the shuttering out of it. You know, it makes it kind of all pano at the same speed. It creates a really high quality panographic 360 in a super short period of time. So if you're out on broker preview, you've got a client, you think they might be interested in something, they want to see a 270-degree view, super easy. Launch Taurus, do a 270-degree view. It'll instantly give you a URL. You have the ability to send that URL off to your client, and they get a 360-degree panoed video with labeling on it. You guys, I talked about this one for iPhone. I think it's amazing for iPad as well. I know some of our higher end users are literally taking iPads. They're giving them to their prospects, and if indeed a prospect buys or sells a house with them, they're using it as a parting gift, or as a closing gift. But here is the deal with Realtor.com. As you know, I'm not a guy that pitches these third-party apps that often. But Realtor.com really hit it out of the park with this one. If you do not have your own personal real estate app, it is pretty cool to be able to register for Realtor.com. Your version, your personal branded Realtor.com app goes up onto the Apple Store. You have your buyer client download that. Everything they look at while they're on the road, they've got a couple of choices. One, they can literally be in a listing, hit chat, and they will chat you while they're looking at that listing. Or if they ask any question, or if they find another listing or another property for sale or anything, any question that they ask now comes to you. Look, there is a really good chance that every buyer you work with at some point is going to look at some mobile app to look at homes. If you give them this one early in the process, it's really well written, it's the one that they will use, and it becomes yours. It brands the whole thing to you. Every conversation comes to you. Every lead comes to you. And if they have a question instantly, they can chat with you over this app. It is pretty darn cool. Realtor.com took themselves out of the equation and made it your app. That's the only reason why it's super, super cool. You guys, this is just geeky. This is the kind of stuff that makes me absolutely giggle. This is an app called Air Display, and get this, all Air Display really does is over your Wi-Fi, it turns your iPad into a second screen. So if indeed you have a small screen and you want a second screen, you just prop your iPad up and it becomes an addition to your second screen. But you know what's cooler than that? Is it will also mirror your main screen. So imagine having somebody in your office and you want to share a document with them. Rather than having to scoot your monitor around, have them pull a chair around, and you both look at one monitor, you can literally choose mirror, hand them your iPad, you can work on your computer. They will see exactly what you're seeing, and you can go over a listing presentation or a contract, or you can be literally browsing through the MLS and talking about specific properties at your desk with them sitting in a chair across from your desk, and they see exactly what you're seeing. That's pretty darn cool, and it does two things. One, that whole you have to come over to my side and look at my screen is a little uncomfortable. Two, it shows what a tech god or goddess you are. This is a pretty cool thing. I would almost buy an iPad just for this, just so that somebody walks into my office, I can hand them the iPad, and they can see what's on my screen. I can do my listing presentation, I can do whatever. Ryan, do people think this is cool?
Oh yeah, everyone's got a lot of different feedback. I mean, people, this is a subject that sparks a lot of passion. Some people hate this or that app. Some people say, that's, really awesome. I love it. And some people are like, that app costs $10. Forget it. That's a waste. You know what I mean? So, they're all over the map, but obviously there's a lot of passion around this stuff.
Yeah. So what I have done, you guys, is I have looked at thousands and thousands and thousands of apps. I would not put an app up here that I thought was I have an hour. So these are apps that I think are just, every app here I think is absolutely awesome. And granted, some of the apps are free. Some of them cost, $2, $3, $5, $9. In my experience, I typically decide whether a function is worth it to me or not. And if the function is worth it, I typically go buy the app, because the pay-for apps typically, unless there's something, like an Evernote or a Dropbox, the pay-for apps typically get much better support. They get updated way faster, and they're typically much better apps. So Air Display, just awesome. A little bit of social media, of course, you guys. Facebook for the iPhone. This is one of the few native apps by Facebook that I'm a huge fan of. Goes without explanation, absolutely free. For those of us who spend too much time on Facebook, Facebook for the iPad, incredible. For those of you who do Twitter, I am an absolute TweetDeck junkie. I only do Twitter on TweetDeck, whether it's TweetDeck on my mobile, which I don't dig that much, or TweetDeck on my iPad, which I absolutely love. It gives you the ability to kind of rule everything. You can see everything that's going on with your entire stream, all your mentions, all your DMs. If there's a hashtag you're following, it just kind of gives you every single thing you could do on your desktop, actually easier than doing it on your desktop. It's one of the slickest. It is the slickest Twitter client, but it's also an amazing just an iPad client for anybody who's doing, who uses and actively is engaged in Twitter. One of the things that is really awesome for the iPad is aggregating data and aggregating content. As marketers now, one of the things that we need to be thinking about, and one of the big kind of paradigm shifts that we're running into is marketers are really aggregating and creating content. That's what marketing has become. And Flipboard is a native iPad app that really allows us to kind of arrange content, and it will arrange content so that the things you see frequently online just come up really easy. So you open Flipboard if you use Facebook or Twitter or news or travel or tech or home thing or photography or anything that you use. It's super heavy on photos. It's got a crazy slick design. This is one of those free apps, and it's basically your iPad's newsstand. This is where I go ultimately to use my to view news. Really kind of cool. So now what I wanted to do is just go through some stuff that these are less like functional, maybe working apps, and just things that I think are really cool for the iPad. The iPad's not all work and no play, but this is stuff that just blows my mind. One of them is actually a content aggregator as well. I'm going to show you Instapaper, but this is called StarWalk, and this is just kind of a cool app. Literally, you launch StarWalk at night, you you aim it into the sky. It will look at every single star that it can see up there and then map out for you on your iPad what constellations you're looking at. I just think that this technology is absolutely amazing. I think it's got an amazing geek/cool factor. And I thought I would just spend literally 10 seconds. For those of you who haven't seen it, StarWalk is really cool. Instapaper is very cool for taking things online, offline. So case and point, if there are 5 or 6 websites that you read on a daily basis, anything that's on the internet that you need an internet connection to read, you're jumping on an airplane, Instapaper Pro will suck everything down off of a website, off of a news site, off of anything. It will distill it, get rid of all the images, make sure that you're just reading the articles. It will save it so that when you jump on an airplane, if you don't have Wi-Fi or you're on a drive, you don't have 3G, you don't have access to the internet, everything you need is here stored and you can read it. That's called Instapaper Pro. Mint is a super cool iPad app that does financial planning in a way that's just amazing. What Mint does is it goes out and sucks down all of your credit cards, your checking accounts, everything, and it will literally categorize your expenses and help you track them and budget them. For all of us independent contractors who are literally out, you know, we have expenses we want to track, we have budgets we've got to follow. Mint is super easy. You can set, manipulate budgets. It's super easy to use. I find the iPad version way easier than the actual web version. You can take pictures of expenses. It will categorize your expenses. It will help you with your budget. It will tell you, you know, how you're doing with your budget, if you're keeping up with it, really how much you've spent in each category. Super cool. I would put Mint on your desktop, your laptop, and certainly anything you have that's mobile. And last but not least, for those of you who are not familiar with TED Talks, there's a new app out. TED Talks are these brilliant 3 to 5 minute talks featuring you know, education radicals and tech geniuses and medical mavericks and business gurus and music legends, and they just, I mean, sitting in front of a house, getting ready to show a house, waiting for your buyer to show up. These are such inspirational videos. They're all very short, and it's cool because there's an app. You just launch the app and all the TED Talks are there. There's no better use for a for a iPad. ultimately than watching, watching video and seeing images. And these TED Talks, they call it ideas worth spreading. They are just absolutely brilliant. Holy cow, Ryan. I think that was 25 apps in 50 minutes. How did we do? What kind of questions do we have? How can we help?
Just lots of great feedback. I think that I'm answering pretty much all the questions that I can as we go. I don't have any burning questions for you. A lot of people have a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of passion around this. Someone's, say, hey, why didn't you mention Hootsuite? What about this on the Google Zoom or whatever, Yeah,
let's talk about them. So, I think those are really good questions. So, Hootsuite is a awesome app for managing all of your social media and doing analytics. If you're sophisticated enough to use Hootsuite, I can tell you that there is some nebulous information going on around Facebook's EdgeRank and third-party posting to Facebook's effect on EdgeRank. Now, I can tell you for months and months and months, we know for a fact that Facebook wrote into their EdgeRank, and the EdgeRank on Facebook means when I create a status update, how many people are going to see it. The higher my EdgeRank is, the more people are going to see it. The lower my EdgeRank is, the fewer people are going to see it. We know for a fact that for months and months and months, a lot of 2012, Facebook was giving lower EdgeRank to third-party posted things. We stopped using Posterous, something that we were great fans of. I stopped using Hootsuite during this time. Now, there's some buzz around the internet that says that Facebook has corrected that, and there are some people doing some testing right now to make sure that the EdgeRank is just as high on third-party posts than it was before, but I'm still not comfortable with it today, so I'm going to wait a few more months, let all the analytics come out, and decide whether or not Hootsuite is going to still be my friend or not. As far as having one place that you can post to all of your social media, I love that. Now, I have simplified my social media a lot, and I use a Chrome app called Social BA, Social B-A exclamation point, and what it lets me do is post in Facebook, the thing that's most important to me, and syndicate from Facebook by just a checkbox to Google+, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So for me now, I've gotten away from Hootsuite and into Social BA, which is why again, I think Hootsuite is an amazing tool. I didn't bring it up because I no longer use it. What other ones?
Well, I've just asked anyone who wants us to send them a PDF for this presentation and a video, just go ahead and type thanks PNC into the chat box and we'll get that out. Do give us a couple days. I'm making a list of everyone. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Florence. Thanks, Crystal. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Ventana. And just go ahead and type thanks PNC into the chat, and we're getting about 200 thanks right now. That's kind of cool looking. What else? What else, Jim? Everyone's saying thank you so much. A couple people told me to make sure to tell you you're a powerful speaker, and they so appreciate it. Another guy told me to tell you that you're still too loud.
I'm just loud. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out. For those of you who've seen me on stage, I hardly need a darn mark. Hey, for those of you that are on really quick, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna kind of show you my screen top right now, just because we're actually 1 minute over, but I just want to show you this, just because I hate bringing up an app and not showing you how cool it is. Look. Here's one of the things. Let's get away from apps completely. I just kind of want to be able to help. But here's kind of a thing, you guys. If you were computing, if you have a laptop or a home computer, and you are on anything but Chrome, get the heck off it. I mean, literally, Chrome has so much. I should do an hour on Chrome. I mean, it is so amazing. If you're still on Internet Explorer, look, I have looked and looked and looked, and to the best of my knowledge, I can find two things, and two things only, that Internet Explorer does well, and that's download, Chrome, and Firefox. Other than that, there's just no reason to be on it. It's buggy. It's got security issues. But let me show you kind of, there's these things in Chrome called apps. And I just want to show my screen really quickly. Can you see my screen, Ryan?
Sure can.
So one of the things that is cool about Chrome is right here you can go to, let's see if this will happen for me. Why isn't it showing my tools? Probably because I'm on this program. But you have the ability to go in and show and add what's called extensions. One of the extensions that I have entered is called Social Bar. And what Social Bar does is it allows me to just come into Facebook. I do most of my posting in Facebook because, frankly, it's the way, 94% of all social media time is spent on Facebook. It's the 800-pound gorilla. It's just the most important thing. But I also want to be able to, I've got Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn. With Social Bar, it allows me to come in here and literally I can tar you here. Now check this out. This is what you don't have. I can come down here and I can say Twitter, Google Plus. I can even decide who the heck I want to send it to. I'll send Google Plus to everybody, and even LinkedIn if I want. And it syndicates to Twitter, to Google Plus, and to LinkedIn. All that traffic comes back to Facebook, which helps my edge rank on Facebook, and literally it's that simple. So for me, this Social Bar is really, really cool. Now look, the other reason, and this gets totally off topic and we'll do this, that I use Chrome is because, look, if I want to pin something, I've got a Pinterest icon up here. I just click it I'm sorry, a Pinterest. I just click it and I can just pin it. If I want to send something to Evernote, I can just click on Evernote and web clip it. I mean, any single thing I want to do, I can do because I am in Chrome, and Chrome has these things. So to go back to kind of the why don't I have Hootsuite, I like Social Bar just way, way better. And Ryan, if you want to type it in, it's Social B-A exclamation point. And it's a Chrome extension, but this to me is just so darn easy. It's so much easier for me to use, and I track using different tools anyway. How are we doing?
We're doing really well, Jim. Thanks so much for your time and doing all this research. Thank you to everyone who attended. And remember, this is an ongoing educational webinar series. This stuff doesn't remain constant, and Jim is committed to bringing you the latest in this stuff, really as it comes out. I mean, it's almost like each month we could do an update on what we did the previous month. So the ongoing education is critical. We're so excited about the new series that we're going to start in the new year, and also we're going to finish out this year very strong as well. So watch your email. You'll get plenty of notice. Put these talks on your calendar, and be sure to join us next month.
Yeah, you guys, really, really important that you talk to your PNC rep and make sure that you get signed up. It's going to be one sign up for all 12 webinars next year, and those 12 webinars, again, they're going to build on each other. So if you hang with me next year, you are literally going to get a 12-step process on how to do your entire internet marketing strategy. We're going to take you from web to traffic to conversion to social to pay-per-click to everything. We're going to literally show you how ultimately to succeed at social media in 12 extra steps. We have gotten so much call for that, and in kind of finishing. Hey Florence, thank you so much for that question. That touched my heart. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ryan, I'm out.
The organizer.